There we go. We are officially recording. All right, now I'm going to share my screen. Team Kickstart call. Here we go. All right, so I'm excited. We're diving into all the things you need to know as a brand new coach, or even as a veteran coach. You need a refresher on what to do, where to start, where to find things. This is what you need to know to hit the ground running. And can we just pause for a moment? And I mean, these photos, can I just say, I need your faces to be on these photos like ASAP. Like these were all like, well, I wasn't here with Brittany and Callie, but most of these were like either summit trips, success club trips, yeah, most all of those. And it's just a good freaking time, and you actually get to see everybody face to face. So I would love to update that with some of your faces to be included, but let me minimize this because I feel like it's in the way. There we go. Okay. So who we are and what we stand for. Sorry, I just saw Tara's message. She can't find it. Okay. It's not just a name or an idea. I know you guys, I've told you guys what Lean Squad stands for before. It is a movement. It's something that I'm proud of, and it's a community, honestly, you guys are now a part of, but it stands for something. So it stands for live happier, elevate others, accept challenges, and never give up. That's what the Lean in Lean Squad stands for. So yes, I want you to use the hashtag. Yes, I want you to share that with everyone, because again, it's not just about Beachbody. It's about ultimately branding our team and our team culture and our community. And eventually, I mean, you can honestly create your own brand and your own, well, you'll have your own team also eventually, but that's kind of the idea behind all of it. It's just to brand you, and we're going to get into more of that in just a minute, but that's what Lean Squad stands for specifically. So our team is full of incredibly brave humans striving to become the healthiest, happiest, most confident versions of themselves. That's a lifelong journey. If you don't know, now you know. It's not just, you're trying to get to your destination and then you're done. This is something that's constant. It is a constant self-improvement journey. So it is not ending. It is a lifelong journey. It's down a winding road, and what that means is it's going to be up and down. You're going to have successes. You're going to have failures. It's not a straight line from A to B. It's supposed to be a winding road so that you can learn from it, grow from it. And we don't always have support from our family and friends. So for me especially, and I know a lot of you that I've connected with and talked about this with, you don't have a lot of support from your family and friends. So this is very much like our second family. I hang out with you guys virtually because, again, a lot of us are not together locally. So I rely on you guys a lot. I lean into you guys a lot, and I hope that you'll do the same, because it truly is very much like our second family. And it says, I bet you never thought that some of your best friends that you'll ever have that you'd meet on the internet. And now granted, I went to high school with some of these people, and some of them are local, but much of the others, whether they're coaches or in our boot camp group, I literally met by just sharing my journey on social media. So that's pretty cool, and the beauty of the internet, the interwebs. We come from different backgrounds. We have common goals. At the end of the day, we all want to get healthier inside and out. It is so much bigger than the physical journey, and I really want you guys to grasp the understanding of that. Like, yes, the weight loss is great. Yes, the muscle gains are great, and seeing the little dimples in your arms and your legs and your abs and whatever, but it's so much more about the inside, looking internally and growing from there, inside and out, getting healthy from the inside out. That's the Shakeology. Again, we'll get into all of that here in a minute, but learning and growing, leading a purpose-filled life of freedom. And that's not just, again, the financial freedom. It's the time freedom. It's just your free spirit. You're free from the stresses that your everyday normal life can sometimes bring to you. Our stories are different. They aren't perfect. But we've come to know that it's in those seasons of struggle and areas of weakness, the mess. I'm kind of in some of that right now, to be honest. It's like an up and down roller coaster. It's just real life, but understanding that even in those moments, like that's where the mess is where we grow, and that mess can eventually become our message. Like those are the things that we can use to pave the way for others and help others in some way. So maybe you're on a high right now and things are amazing, but just know eventually you're going to hit those spots. But instead of using it as an excuse or feeling down on yourself or letting yourself spiral into this negative headspace, just know that it's something that you can use and to eventually help others once you've learned how to overcome it or you've grown from it or whatever. But that mess can become our message. It's our duty and responsibility. It is literally our obligation, I feel like, as human beings, not even just with health and fitness, but any knowledge and any experience that we have that improves our life in some way, that is our responsibility to share that with others, to help others achieve their goals, feel empowered, and lead healthy, fulfilling lives. And that is exactly what Beachbody stands for as well, is to help people lead healthy, fulfilling lives. So it all goes hand in hand. I want you to dream big, like so big that it sounds ridiculous, but also know that we expect you to do the work. It's not just going to happen overnight. People are not just going to come running, flocking to you. You're going to have to do the work, but we share our tools and best practices with you. So this PDF, for example, I'm going to give it to you and share it with you. So yes, I want you to take notes, but I'll also have it for you to reference and use in the future, as well as all the PDFs that you've gotten from our Smart Start training. You have tons of resources and tools that are already created. There's no recreating the wheel, but it is up to you to actually use and implement them. You are your own boss. You didn't sign up for me to be your boss or for your coach to be your boss. You signed up to have your own business, your own schedule, and your own freedom. So you make those choices, and it's your business at the end of the day, but we're going to be here to help you and support you every step of the way. All right, moving on to the next. All right, so things you should have already done, and if you have already started the Smart Start training, then you know some of this, but let's quickly go through it. So you should have already been added to all of our Facebook coach groups and our bootcamp accountability groups. So our team coaching pages, the Beachbody Champions page, the Beachbody 411 page, our sister coach groups, all of that, so that you have access not only to the team and everybody within our coaching community, but also corporate specifically. There's a lot of amazing trainings in the Beachbody Champions page. The National Wake Up Calls are on the Team Beachbody page, so you should already be plugged into those. If you're not, reach out to me or your coach and let us know so we can help to get you plugged into there. You should have already logged into Beachbody On Demand, found your program, started your program if you've been here for a little while, located your program materials, and you're ready to get started on your goals. You know where your workout calendar is, your workouts, you've picked your nutrition plan, which one are you doing, ultimate portion fix or 2B mindset, and you are all in on that because you know the nutrition is 80 to 90% of your results. So if you're not following the nutrition and you're only doing the workouts, you're not, for one, being foolproof at the product of our programs, because the nutrition is part of that. You're not going to get your best results if you're not following the entire program. You've calculated your meal plan bracket. You found the recipes, all that. It's on Beachbody On Demand. You should have done all those things and are part of our group. Took your starting photos and measurements and your weight. I included this because I feel like I have followed up with so many coaches once they've got started, and I have asked them, it's like, hey, you're coming up on your last week of your program. You took your measurements, right? You took your photos, right? You're like, oh no, I didn't take them. Kills me every time. I'm like, you guys, that's like your magazine, and we're going to get to that more of that later in terms of social media specifically. But first and foremost, like your measurements, all of like the photos, that stuff is going to show on an actual visual representation, because the scale's not going to show you everything like measurements and photos will. But also you need something to show people, to invite with, but also for you personally to look back on. So if you don't have those, you need to like literally, as soon as this call is over, get off and take some before and after, or at least not your afters, obviously, your before photos at least, or go back and scroll through and find something from the beginning of your journey to be able to share. Do not skip that part. All right. You have selected and started reading or listening to your first personal development book. Again, we go over this in the Smart Start training. It's one of the things that you need to get done. So if you haven't done that yet, you need to get on it. That should be part of your everyday to-dos. Establish a morning and evening routine and daily schedule you plan to start implementing to get to the most out of your day, especially if you work full-time and you've got other obligations, or maybe you don't work full-time and you're at home for the most part, either way it goes, you're more productive when you have like an established morning and evening routine. And I say evening also because what you do in the evening sets you up for a positive and productive morning and the entire next day. So if you work out in the mornings, early mornings, laying your clothes out the night before, doing your personal development first thing in the morning, or at least a devotional of some sort to get your mindset in a positive place, or maybe that's positive affirmations, something that gets you going in a positive way, gets the creative juices flowing, and just puts you in a positive headspace. So if you haven't done that yet, get on it. Next thing, set up your websites and social media profiles, your bio info. We're going to talk a little bit about the social media part later in this presentation, but your website should already be done for sure. You've made your first post, sharing your story and inviting people to join you, depending where you're at in the Smart Start training. If you haven't gotten there yet, just know that that's coming. So get ready for it. Or you have been starting to share in your stories and you've already made that post. Now it's time to start reaching out to friends and family you know and bringing them on this journey with you. So if you have made that post, someone liked it or watched your stories, or you have that list we talked about, it's time to start reaching out to people ASAP. You've saved and printed copies of the Success Club business activity tracker. You understand how to use it. You're active and know the importance of staying active. Really quickly, just active personal volume versus Success Club personal volume. Active personal volume for coaches is just 50 PV, and that can come from your personal orders or your customers' orders. Success Club PV is different because to qualify for Success Club every single month, you need a home direct order of at least 90 PV, and that can come from your Shakeology, which most coaches are on Shakeology or a performance stack of some sort, and that counts as 90 automatically. So you should be covered and you should be good if you keep that on home direct, but you will not qualify for Success Club even if you have the points if you don't have at least 90 PV of your own on an HD order. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, reach out to me later and ask questions. Last thing, envisioned a clear why and you wrote it down. This also is another thing that gets skipped, I feel like, regularly, because people don't think that this is a real job, or they don't think that, you know, big things can happen for them. So it's just kind of like an afterthought. You think of the thing and then you just kind of let it go. Write it down. It needs to be something that literally will move you to action, no matter the mindset you have, no matter the day that you're having. You need to write it down and put it somewhere that you can see it every single day. And it's actually part of your Success Club tracker sheet. At the very top, you'll see that here in just a second as well. It says rewrite your why. Why are you showing up? Why are you doing this? You can probably hear Champ working in the background. I apologize. But if you haven't done that yet, again, write it down, put it somewhere you can see it every single day. That is so, so important. Make a vision board, something that's going to inspire and motivate you, because I promise you, there's going to be days where you're not motivated. You don't want to reach out. You don't want to invite. You don't want to post. You're not motivated to work out. You need to remember why you're here, why you want this, why you're working for it. So if you haven't wrote it down, make it specific and put it somewhere you see it every single day. Okay, let's get organized and prioritize. So first and foremost, what I want you to understand, your most important goal is to focus on you, your journey, and your consistency. Be an active participant in our accountability group. Stick to your program from start to finish, whatever that is. Drink your Shakeology every single day. Fuel your mind with positive, empowering content every single day, and document that journey daily. Like, that is your job at the end of the day. And it's pretty crazy that you actually get paid for that when you do it consistently, because eventually people are going to gravitate towards you because they're going to see those changes in you. So first and foremost, it has to start with you. The same thing goes within your family and your job. Like, if you're not pouring into you first, regardless of the business, if you're not pouring into you first, everything else is going to suffer. People are not going to get the best of you. You're going to have a negative, sour attitude. So you've got to pour into you first. You have to develop your own story of success and transformation based on your experience with our programs and our products and our community. You've never sold something that you were excited about or passionate about or that wasn't changing your life in a positive way, right? So I want you to think about that. You know, maybe you had and I was talking to Jasmine about this recently too, like maybe you had an amazing experience at this new dentist office, or you know, at this grocery store or some shopping center, or you tried this new shampoo or this new popcorn brand. Like, who knows? It can literally be anything, but you wouldn't hesitate for a second to go running and screaming from the rooftops, sharing that with everybody that you know, your friends, family. You're like, you're so excited about this thing because it just tasted good, or it did something good for you, or it, you know, changed your life in some way. You wouldn't hesitate sharing that, right? This is no different. So get your own story of success, create your own experience by being all in, like we talked about earlier, so that you can share that with excitement, because you're not selling just fitness programs and shakes at the end of the day. Like, we're not, and I'm not going to mention any other companies or businesses or throw anybody under the bus, but we actually are selling a lifestyle that people want to join. That's literally something that can change someone's life because their health is better. It could change the longevity, the quality of life. So work on being your best you, and the business success will follow. So that comes first. Second, be a CEO and super intentional with your time. And I know as a brand new coach, you're like, well, I'm not a CEO, I'm not a business owner, but you need to have that mentality though. You need to have the confidence as if you are already a six-figure earner in the business. Like, just giving yourself that confidence, and honestly even manifesting those things into your life. So maybe you're not there yet, but you are of the mindset that that's what you're working for. That's what's going to happen. So you have to take charge of that. We all have the same amount of time in a day. So how you spend it will dictate your success. There's no such thing as balance at the end of the day. I know we hear that, like, oh, you gotta, you know, have balance, work-life balance. Like, yes, you want to schedule all those things into your day in some fashion, but know that there's going to be some areas of sacrifice if you want to grow a successful, thriving business that provides long-term passive income. So, you know, maybe that means you cut back on your watching late night Netflixing, or, you know, movies, or just certain things that you know that you're spending a little extra time on that you probably cut out, at least temporarily. I'm not saying take time away from your family. That might have to happen a little bit, but at the same time, that just as well as your, you know, 30-minute workout for yourself and your me time is scheduled into your day, that stuff should be scheduled too, because it's just as important. But just know you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit to get where you want to be. That's just the nature of any business. Like, if you're going to be a business owner, it's going to take work and it's going to take sacrifice. So beyond that though, be an active participant in our team message pod on Facebook and our weekly team call, so that you're in the know. We talk about things, we do planning calls, we do masterminding, we talk about the team calendar, we talk about our boot camp group. So all those things you need to know if you're going to be promoting and talking about the business, but you need to know what you're inviting to, and you should always be inviting to something. So keeping a monthly calendar and a weekly planner outside of our team calendar, you need to have this in a place where you can see it every day and plan around it. Setting your business hours, setting personal hours. So again, we just talked about that. Your me time, you know, your workout, your personal development, your meditation, stillness, whatever that is that you need to do for you, for your mental and physical health. But then also putting family time into that, because you want that, if that's important to you, which I'm assuming it is, you work that into it too. Plan your post, set timers when you're working. Again, working smarter, not harder. So if you know you've got a full-time job, you've only got so much time that you can dedicate to your business, sit down on the weekends or whenever you have free time and plan out your week. So what do I want to share this week? And again, we're going to go into that here in just a minute. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but planning ahead so that you know, maybe you schedule it, maybe you just have it written down so that you can just literally copy and paste it when you're ready to post it, saving it as a draft on Instagram or on Facebook, just having it ready to go. So literally all you have to do when the time comes to share it is just copy and paste post. And when I say set timers, you know, when you sit down to do, you know, your power hour, you're setting specific timers, maybe if that helps you to stay on track. So you have, you know, maybe 10 minutes to do friend requests, and then maybe 30 minutes to do invites or whatever it is that you need to get done based on how much time you have. Use the Success Club tracker sheet as a daily checklist. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, as well as choosing a tracking method. And setting your phone to do not disturb or airplane mode so that it's not distracting you and you can be intentional with the time that you do have to work your business. One thing I highly recommend, it says brain dump list. I do this almost every night, even if it's the same exact things that I do every single day. It just feels relieving. If you're somebody who also gets overwhelmed easily or struggle with anxiety, put it down on paper, write it down, so that you don't have to think about it. Get it all out of your brain. Like, that's the idea of a brain dump. So just writing a to-do list of everything you need to do the next day, the night before. And last, do what you say you're gonna do, even when that initial excitement wears off, even when you don't feel like it. At the end of the day, if you want to grow a big, successful business, you have to be inviting and doing the business activities every single day. And I know you're freaking out probably because you're like, oh my God, I don't mean like every single day, 7 days a week, but you need to pick at least 5 days of the week that you are dedicated to going balls to the wall, doing the work, 10xing your productivity if you really want to get where you're trying to go with the business. So it's exciting right now, maybe even a little overwhelming right now, but just know you've got to stay on top of that. It's totally up to you. Nobody can do it for you but you. All right, really quickly, resources in our team page, which that's kind of covering up. Okay, so I have a couple of things circled, and I do plan on adding some additional things into the units of our team page. So this is on Facebook. I literally just took a screenshot. So the units will eventually have some additional kind of, I say scripture, what are we talking about? Scripts that you can use when you're having your conversations, your invites. So that's not there yet, but it will be. But there is some other things there that you can access for help in the meantime. I want you to manage those notifications. It says, again, don't let notifications distract you, but I don't want you to miss anything either. I know we have a bunch of groups and I know we have a bunch of message pods and things, but turn the notifications on under our team page. Am I echoing? I feel like I hear myself. Okay, maybe I'm better now. But please turn on the notifications for everybody in the team page so that you don't miss anything. And it says unpin to group. I want you to pin the group. So what that means, because it'll say pin, it won't say unpin when you go to look at it. But when you click the more button, it's going to give you that option. Pinning that group to your favorites list will keep it at the top of your group list so you can easily access the group as soon as you log into the Facebook app. So pin at least our team page for sure, but any of those other Facebook groups that you're already a part of that we added you to, so that you have easy access to them when you need them. The other two things is the announcements. That's where you're going to find our team page or our team calendar, bootcamp calendar, which we're going to be updating as well. But that stays at the top of the feed, so you'll see that a lot of important things we keep there so that you can, again, easily access it. The last two things is media and files. The media section is going to be where you can find photo albums. So when we run free groups or just other content where we need to save graphics and things like that, that's where you're going to find that information. And then the files section is where you're going to find like email templates and, not previous team calls, but just other information and other templates and things that you can use for emails, for invites, for the sample workouts and things of that nature. So go into the team page and just get familiar with it, but that's where you can find important information to help you business-wise. Okay, so I want to try to go through this fairly quickly because I want to spend a little bit more time on the social media part. But one second, let me get a quick drink. A lot of times I feel like I get asked, what is a power hour? What do you guys mean when you say power hour? What am I supposed to be doing? What is this Success Club tracker sheet? So when we say power hour and we refer to this Success Club system business activity tracker, this is like your roadmap. This is the bread and butter of your business activities. So the 5 things that I'm going to go through are what you should specifically be doing in that power hour. The other things are kind of like that. That's just stuff that you should be doing anyway. Again, we talked about taking care of you first. So when you look at the sheet itself, it says be proof the products work. Okay, so you're doing the workouts, you're committed to your program all in from start to finish, you're doing the nutrition program, you're drinking your shake. Check that box. You should be doing that anyway, regardless. Same thing for the personal development part. And it says getting people results, yes, but that starts with you being an active participant in our challenge group. So it says contribute to your challenge group. And we're going to get to it a little bit more here in a minute too, but recognizing achievement and responding to questions. So none of that truly do I include in my power hour because I should just be doing those things anyway. But the part that specifically is that big number 2 section, connect, invite, and follow up. And you'll even see that it gives you a suggested time frame if you're doing all of those things, about an hour and 40 minutes. So let's break that down really quickly. Number 1, it's talking about initiating connections and adding followers. So that's number 1, friend requests and follows. You don't have to do both. I would say honestly, pick a platform that you feel most comfortable with in terms of just how to use it and maybe the engagements that you already have. I post in both places, but I get most of my business honestly from Facebook. So, but again, we're going to get to the social media here in a minute. So I'm not going to, let me digress from that. But friend request is one of the first things that you do. So you're going to see right here, my suggestion for you and what I personally have done to build my network is 20 friend requests or 20 follows, whichever you use, every single day. And when I say every single day, you need to at least be committed to working your business at least 5 days a week. I'm not trying to take your weekends away from you. Maybe it's even 6 days. Again, your goals are your goals, and what you're willing to dedicate and commit to your business is up to you. But however you can get it done, it's either 20 a day or it's 100 a week. So for me, there's been times I've done 20 a day. It's pretty quick and easy. Or there's been times where I'm like, okay, I just want to dedicate 2 solid days to building my network. So I'm going to do 50 friend requests on Tuesday and 50 on Thursday and just be done with it. So again, that's up to you, but that's a goal to aim for in terms of friend requests and follows. To do that, going into Facebook specifically, if you go into your Facebook suggestions, so really quickly, if you have your access to your phone, when you click the menu button, so that 3-line menu button, and then you click on friends, it's going to show 2 options at the very top of the screen. It's going to say suggestions and it's going to say all friends. So if you click suggestions, it's going to pull up a people you may know list. And now I'm not saying go through there and just knock out, okay, boom, 20 people on the first list of names that comes up. No. I mean, looking through and see, okay, do you have mutual friends? Who are those mutual friends? You click on their profile, just kind of see if they have any bio information. Have they posted frequently at all? If they haven't posted in a month, 2 months, 3 months, then probably not going to friend request them because I want somebody who is present and engaging on social. But that's where I go to find my people. I don't just, try to randomly scroll through and find people. I go to suggestions, and from there I can choose who I want to friend request. Same thing on Instagram, but it's a little bit different. You don't have necessarily a suggestions feature, but you can search hashtags. So if you're not familiar with that, it's just hashtags that are related to you in some way. So not Beachbody hashtags, but if you're a dog mom, hashtag dog mom life, or pit bull mom, or sunset lover, or, fitness junkie, or just whatever is, makes you up and what you're interested in. Those are the hashtags you're going to search. You can follow hashtags so that those things will pop up in your feed where you can find people. You can search locations, but that's again how you can find accounts to actually follow on Instagram. So what I do is kind of engage with them after they have accepted my friend request. I'm going to get to that in just a second. But that's how you're going to expand your network and create the new connections, is by adding those friend requests and followers every single day. You want to make your page public if you're on Facebook, or the same on Instagram really, but it's more of a creator page. And again, we're going to talk about that later. I'll give you examples, but I know some people shy away from doing that because well, I share my kids and I don't want people to know where I live. You're not sharing ever specific locations of where you are. And if you do, maybe you're out at a restaurant or whatever and you tag that location, you're not going to tag that location while you're still there, right? Make the post after you've already left, but create or putting your page to public is going to allow people who are not already friends with you to be able to potentially see your content if they search a particular hashtag, or if they search a particular location where you might be, or even just friends of friends happening to see your page. And whenever you've commented or something, they can find you at the end of the day. Like, you can get access to people that are not already following you. All right, moving on to engaging from there. So they've accepted your friend request, and not everybody will, but several of them will. And that's what you're going to start doing. So you're going to engage with the people who are engaging with you. Who's watching your stories? Who's liking your posts? Before I reach out to them, I'm going to go check them out. Do they have anything in their stories for me to watch? I'm going to go watch that. Maybe it's something that I, leave a heart on if I think it's cute, or something that I relate to, or I'm going to comment on. Same thing on their actual feed. I'm going to go to their feed. Just don't spend a whole lot of time, but at least a few scrolls where you can see what they've posted, what they're about. Leave a comment, leave a couple of likes. Again, don't just like every single post just to be liking it. Like, actually engage on their page like you would trying to find your best friend. If it's something that does stick out to you, then comment. But I'm going to engage on their feed before I actually reach out to them. You want to be making friends, creating trust, establishing that credibility. And at the end of the day, your job is just to serve others. Like, don't lead with the mindset of trying to make a sale. Like, you're just trying to make connections and build that trust and that relationship with other people. The invite and the actual, that person becoming your customer will eventually happen if you're doing the right things. Just be a good human at the end of the day. So you're not spending time scrolling social media and wasting time. You're doing those specific things so that you can follow up with an actual message, which is number 3, the invite. So that's where the no cold messages, we take that out, because you're literally just engaging with people who are already engaging with you. So you're not going to send them this message just because they accepted your friend request. You're not reaching out to them. Like, if you want to, you can still send that initial message like, hey, thanks for, following me, or hey, thanks for adding me back. If you want to do that, you can. But you're not sending any sort of invite until they've actually engaged with you in some other fashion. The likes, the comments, they've watched your stories, that sort of thing. You want to make sure also that you're inviting to not just the boot camp, but also to coaching, into our free groups. We talked about you always should be inviting to something. So knowing what we have going on within the month so that you know what you can be inviting to. And being straightforward. Like, you guys don't shy away and be scared because you're a brand new coach and you feel like, I'm not credible, I don't have my own success story yet. You joined our team for a reason. Why did you sign up in the first place? What are you excited about? What are you doing right now? Speak to those things and just tell them that you want them to come on the journey with you. Be straightforward. So the same thing with there. 20 to 30 invites a day is a good goal, or 100 for the week. And I say that because maybe you have a day where, work gets too crazy and you just didn't get, your goal invites for the day. So, okay, fine. Like, then maybe you make it up a day on the weekend to make sure that at least by the end of the week, you have your 100 invite goal knocked out. Hopefully that makes sense. So the last 2 things are your follow-ups and tracking. Just know that when you're reaching out to people, especially for the first time, and especially if it's a new friend or somebody that you don't know well yet, you're going to get ghosted and you're going to get told no. Just know that A, it's not personal, but also if that's going to happen anyway, again, don't feel like you need to just spend a whole bunch of time going back and forth in terms of like that getting to know messages. Like, yes, again, you can do that too. But if you're going to get potentially ghosted, even whenever you just reach out to say, hey, just wanted to say thank you for liking my post, and they still don't say anything, then I'm just going to go straight for the invite regardless, because at the end of the day, you want to connect with people like you, with like-minded people. So why not just go straight for that invite? But know that that's going to happen. The fortune is in the follow-up, and that's why follow-ups are so important. It takes an average of 7 to 10 times of you reaching out to someone before they actually commit and say yes. So invite and follow-up, they count the same. If you see me whenever I share like, oh, I did 30 invites for the day, I count my invites and my follow-ups in that same pool, that number of people. So set a goal for that. What is your weekly goal? What is your monthly goal? And track that. And continue following up with these people until you get a no, or they block you, or they unfriend you. Like, if they don't say something, but yet they keep watching your stories and they keep engaging on your post, like, they're interested in you in some way. there's some sort of connection and interest there. So even if they're just, not responding, they could just need a little more information or they could just need a little more time to watch you and to see what you're doing and what this is about. And if you're going to stick around, first and foremost, because how many people start and stop things, they're like, well, I'm glad I didn't sign up with her because now she's, on to something else, or she's not even doing it anymore. So do it long enough people can trust you, but continue to follow up until they tell you straight up no. And the last thing is tracking your business and prospects. So between weekly, weekly business results and check boxes. Hold please, another drink. Super dry throat. Oh, that's what you see at the bottom. Sorry, I was like, what am I talking about? The weekly business results at the bottom. So your number of followers, your number of challengers, the number of coaches you sign, set goals for that. But then also look back at your tracker. Like where are the holes? Where are the gaps? What are you missing? And then find your method. For me, which I didn't even bring it in here, I use a journal. So I track my invites based on who has actually responded to my messages and who wanted information in some way. So for me, that's a planner, but maybe for you, it's a journal or a notebook or a Google spreadsheet or Google Streak or Teamsy. Those things we're not going to talk about specifically tonight. If you want more information on those specifically, Google it and look up what they are and how they work. But at the end of the day, you need some sort of system that's going to work for you, and that can change over time, but you need to have some sort of tracking system so that people don't fall through the cracks and you don't lose business because of it. And at the end of the day, if you're not hitting your goals, you know that you need to simply talk to more people. You're not doing enough. And again, people just need to continue knowing, liking, and trusting you and being ready to do business with you. Okay, so really quick pause. Does anybody have questions about that before we move on to the social media part? We are almost done. Everybody good? Which, let me put this where I can see everybody. Okay. Last couple of things. So really quickly, how to set up your social media. Take a look over this page just for a moment. Oops, minimize this. Okay, so this is obviously for Facebook and Instagram. You want to set up your bio information first and foremost if you haven't done that already. But the main things that I want you to take away from this page is Instagram specifically. So what makes life easier is linking your Instagram to your Facebook page. That's assuming, again, that you're going to be using both, or even if you're just using Facebook, it's still a good practice to post on Instagram because it will literally automatically upload to your Facebook personal page if you set your Instagram settings to creator. So whenever you see that middle photo here, that is a screenshot of Instagram. So if you go to your Instagram profile, you click on the settings, you have to hit the menu tab, that 3-line menu tab, and then go to your settings. That's where you'll see the option to, and it'll say something else in that little window. It says creator because that's what my page is. It'll give you options. You can set it to whatever you want to set it to, but unless you set it to something like creator, it's not going to automatically upload to your personal page. It would only upload to like a like page that you have, which I know many of you don't. So link it to your personal page, use the creator option, and then that second picture shows you how to link your Facebook account. So once you've done that, then go to linked accounts and it will allow you to pull up your Facebook page to link it to your Instagram. So anytime you post a picture, you can choose that you want it to post to Facebook, but also your stories specifically. Your stories will automatically upload to Facebook so that you don't have to spend time posting in both places. And then the last thing is Linktree. That's just a place where you can set up a kind of more professional link that allows you to have basically several different links within one link with access to different tools and resources to get connected with you. Yes, there's other, updated different things to use, but especially as a newer coach, like this works perfectly. So all you would do is set up an account. It's free. I mean, there are paid options too, but it's free within Linktree to go to, and that's just where I've connected my bootcamp application, my info forms, and all those things. But that you can use in your bio information as your link or your website, and that will give people, like, when you're doing your stores, like, hey, click the link in my bio for more information, that sort of thing. So that is the gist of setting up your social media. If you haven't done that yet, spend some time this week going through and doing that. If you have any questions on Linktree specifically, or setting up the creator account, linking your accounts, etc., let me know, or let your coach know, and I can help you out. Okay, this one is what I wanted to get to because it is a lot of information. And again, I'm going to give you guys this document. So if you want to come refer back to it, you can. But quick steps to rock your social media. All right, so your social media is like your magazine. You want to make it look eye-catching, make it look appealing. You don't want to be, you know, you want it to pop out. You want your pictures to be bright and eye-catching. And also, don't be afraid to be 100% authentically you. I know for a long time I followed so many coaches, and I tried to post like them, and I tried to talk like them because I really hadn't found my voice and I hadn't found myself yet. Like, honestly, that's the worst thing you could possibly do. If you cuss, if you like to drink, like all those things, like whatever it is that makes you you, just share that. Be you. Don't try to look like, post like, sound like any other person but you, because ultimately the whole cliche, your vibe attracts your tribe, is 100% true. So if you want to attract this fake person that because you're putting off this false perception of who you really are, then that's what you're going to attract by posting that. If you want to attract the person that's like you, that, you know, for me, likes to walk around barefoot, loves the sunshine, like, I'm going to post that stuff because those are the kind of people that I want in my life that like to do similar things as me. So, okay, really quick. Number one, take a lot of selfies. I know we're like, I don't want to take pictures of myself. I'm self-conscious maybe, or, you know, whatever, but get comfortable behind the camera, get comfortable sharing you. Like, but when I say that, like, it's not just, don't share the same boring selfies. Like, wear your hair down every once in a while. And I'm guilty of this. I had to really be mindful because I am always walking around with the bun. So, you know, put your hair down, style your hair, put some makeup on, get ready once in a while. Don't just post in fitness gear all the time because that's not relatable. Most people who aren't already in the fitness industry themselves are not walking around in fitness gear all day. So maybe you need to buy, you know, again, I'm saying all of these things because I've struggled with it in some way in the past. You know, wearing the same cheap, you know, fitness gear that's like worn out and faded and raggedy looking, like nobody wants, like, that's not really motivating or inspiring. So even if you just need to, you know, treat yourself whenever you finish a program or whatever, like something, it could be cheap, like go to Five Below, like they have cute workout tops and shorts or whatever. Just find something on Amazon, but buy cheap, fun fitness clothes to, again, make your photos more appealing. Use white and natural light. Get close to a window. Use a ring light. Get outside. Your pic should be bright. Using, again, part of your Smart Start training includes apps to use to kind of make those pictures pop a little bit more. I know I use Snapseed a lot to really help with that. Editing according to your brand. So for me, I'm a really colorful person, but if you're more of like a black and white or kind of a whitewashed look or whatever it is, but just post to your branding, edit your pictures according to that branding. And maybe you don't know what that is yet, but you will eventually. Just make it clean and crispy at the end of the day. Smile, use props, use curiosity marketing. I'm going to give you examples of all of this stuff here in the next slide. So I'm really going through these really fast, but looking into the camera, not the screen, like making eye contact and really feeling that personal experience, because it is social media, it is the internet, and yeah, you do stories so people can actually hear your voice. You should be talking and doing those things so that people can get to know your personality from that. But especially in your feed, like people, it's hard for people to get to know you just based on the text that they see. So just there's something about making eye contact with the camera so that when people see your photo, they feel like you're looking at them. Set a timer, use portrait mode, ask people to take pictures for you. And the last thing, don't use the dark yellow murky photos, especially of like food or something like that. Those photos are not eye-catching. And if it is food specifically, like nobody wants to eat that and nobody's gonna be inspired by that if it looks like, you know what I mean? Like you've seen those pictures already probably on social media. It's like that kind of sounds good, but the picture looks disgusting. So and some people don't master that. Like I post it every now and then, but the lighting makes a huge difference. And again, you just want it to be appealing. So if you haven't mastered that, maybe you don't share a whole lot of, foodie pictures in your actual feed, but you share it in stories. Whatever you want to do is up to you, but try to, not do the whole murky looking photos. That's not eye-catching. At the end of the day, people are just scrolling and you're trying to stop the scroll. Okay, number 2, stop being a basic bee. Don't hide behind the products is the first thing. So yes, we're talking about, Beachbody specifically, but at the end of the day, you're not just a Beachbody coach. It's not just about the products. You were more than that before you got started. So don't hide behind the products. Share some of your kids, share some of your pets, but at the end of the day, it should mostly be you. Have an opinion. Don't be afraid to ruffle feathers, or that, you might rub somebody the wrong way. At the end of the day, if you say something and you're owning your truth and you're standing firm into what you believe, if you rub somebody the wrong way, they're not your people and you don't want them in your circle anyway. So if those people, that aren't supporting you or that don't stand behind you, you're probably not, like, I know I wouldn't want to do business with them. I don't want them in my circle if they're not being supportive. So don't not share or have an opinion or hide your truth for fear of that. Evoke conversations, ask questions, get people talking, get them engaging with you. Let people into your world and your personality. What are you about? What do you do? What does your day-to-day life look like? But at the end of the day, ultimately still following those 4 vital behaviors. If you don't know what those are, we're going to go into them here in just a minute. But stop trying to connect with everyone. Because again, what we just talked about, you don't want to be friends with everybody. There's going to be people that you don't like in the world, and there's going to be people that don't like you. That's just the way the world works. We're human. So don't try to speak to everyone. Share your struggles, but put a spin on it, a positive spin. Spin it to win it. So if you're going through a struggle, still share that, because it does show that you're human, but don't sit there and have a pity party about it. Like, yes, be with your emotions, deal with whatever you need to deal with, but then at the same time, how can you flip that into something you can grow and learn from, and then share how you're overcoming that, share how you're tackling that in a positive way. All right. Number 3, what makes a good caption? Short and sweet. So like one-liners, diamonds were a girl's best friend, and then yoga pants happened. Now, again, I'm not saying do these kind of posts all the time, but what I do notice, and I'm guilty of this, a lot of people don't spend time reading the longer captions. They're scrolling, they don't have a whole lot of time. They want to just see what's going on in everybody's world. So if you constantly are posting, posts that have like this novel of information, like they're not going to spend time actually reading it. So using those as, eye-catching, quick and snappy moments. Negative wording, like I never thought I would feel comfortable in my own skin. Asking questions, have you ever felt like you had no control of your life? And then obviously elaborating on that a little bit. Use emotional power words. I was destroying, my body until I discovered my secret. What is that? Talk in numbers. 21 days ago, I was not the same girl. Or, again, you're speaking to a specific program that you're doing. So maybe a 21-day fix, but you're not saying that program specifically. You're speaking in what your journey is. But again, you're trying to brand you. You're not trying to brand Beachbody specifically. So, but speaking in that way can give people an idea of just how long or how short of a time you've been dedicated to it. But then also, branding you and not the products and programs itself. We talked about this already, but selling your lifestyle and not Beachbody. Our job is not to convince everyone to use and love Beachbody. Our job is to use it ourselves and let it be our solution to light us up, and then share that to inspire others to live their best life. Like, our job is to be basically a lighthouse, to be a light for others, light workers. You're just sharing your experience and what's working for you. What's your why? Why are you working out? Why are you showing up? What are you working for? What's motivating you? Having an attitude of gratitude. What has being a coach or part of this community changed in your life in some way? Create that FOMO for people. Like, they feel like they're missing out by not being a part of this with you. Sharing transformations, and not just about you. And especially if you're a newer coach and you don't have, your own customers to share success stories from yet, or you don't have your own success story yet. Using mine, using other people within our team, using Beachbody transformations. Like, you don't have to just post you, because at the end of the day, one of the vital behaviors is also recognition. So those are good things to share in your stories as opposed to your actual feed. But if you do share it in your feed, what I recommend is just having you as the actual, initial cover photo picture, and then adding them in so that it's still about you in terms of your content on your feed, but you're recognizing others. And then show consistency. People are watching you, even if they aren't liking sometimes, even if they aren't commenting. I've had so many people come back around that I've said, oh, I've been watching you for, the last year or 2 years or whatever. And I'm like, oh, really? Like, I've never even seen you. So know that people are watching, they're seeing you change, they're seeing you get results. So just continue sharing that journey and inviting people to join you on that journey, because you don't have to be at your goal weight. You don't have to be, an expert. You're just literally sharing what you're doing. So be the person you needed or that you need right now every single day. Like, that's what you want to show up as. So even if you're not where you want to be yet, mentally, physically, whatever, still show up like you are that person. We talked about earlier, showing up like that CEO or that millionaire mindset, because you know where you want to go. And that's what's going to bring that into your life. Okay, 5 and 6. It always comes back to the vitals. Those things, again, if you are not familiar with these, go into your Coach Online office and learn more about them. There is training tools on these, but being proof the products work, doing your personal development, recognizing, sharing, connecting, and inviting. Because, well, actually the fourth one is invite. But ultimately, like, we know that we need to share first in order to connect with people. And it's the connection with people and engaging with people that ultimately leads you to the invite. So I say share, connect, and invite. But again, I'll share this with you. You can go through, what that means, but it's all listed right there for you. And then having a weekly posting plan. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but planning out your weeks. Don't just post your best content on the weekends, because people are usually busy doing other things on the weekends, right? Sorry. Like doing lifestyle things and with their family. So saving your best, invite content and the stuff that you really want people to see, during the week or in the evenings when people are likely scrolling social media. So maybe you do a motivational Monday, transformation Tuesday. Wednesday is like something about what I'm doing right now in the moment, or, I didn't actually correct that. What I hate. It's supposed to say what I ate food wise. And I'm just giving you examples. Like, you don't have to always post like this, but especially as a newer coach, like just having something as a basic template to follow, this is a good place to start. A throwback or Thankful Thursday, feature Friday or face-to-face Friday. And then the weekend is just all about lifestyle stuff and sharing you, your family, what you're up to, what you're doing outside of, fitness. Because again, you don't want it to just be fitness selfies or post-workout selfies or, stuff related to that lifestyle. You're more than just Beachbody. You're more than just your workouts. So you work in the invite post into that, sharing your results along the way. Basically, you're just giving that value so that you can then ask and send that invite. It's, again, that goes back to just establishing that credibility, but creating that trust and that connection with people, so that when you do go for the invite, they're not just like, oh, are you just trying to sell me something? So give the value, and then you're basically given the right to invite them and ask them. And the last couple things, monthly content calendar. I do try to share in our team page monthly calendars for you to use to help you with content, to kind of fill in the gaps, or you can use the entire calendar if you want to, but know that that resource will be there. But not posting what you think people want to hear, what you think people want to see. Like I talked about earlier, don't try to post like anybody else, and stop caring so much about what other people think or other people's opinions of you. This is your life. This is your journey. You only get this one life, one time. So spending it stressing and worrying about what somebody might or might not say is only delaying you from the life you want to be living. So design it how you want to be living it, and don't let that be something that deters you. Okay, really quickly, if you can see these are just the quick examples of some posts. So I keep covering this up. Okay, so like we just talked about in terms of actual pictures. So we talk about lighting and making things pop. So here's a couple of examples. So indoor by a window, having that natural light to help your picture pop and make it clear and crispy. So that's what those first couple of pictures are. And then even me, like setting up with a timer or changing new angles. And I'm going to show you in just a minute whenever we get off the screen of the tool that I use to do that. But there are some pictures for that. Indoor with a ring light. And again, these tools, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get these things. I think Harvey gave me or went and bought something for me. It was like, I don't know, maybe 40 bucks. Again, I'm going to show you that here in a minute. But just take a quick glance at these photos. Portrait mode. So you see this one on the left is, you know, someone, you know, took that for her probably. But even my picture, like I literally set up, and again, it depends on what kind of phone you have. If you can use portrait mode, setting it up to where if someone else is taking the picture, the portrait mode's obviously going to be on the regular camera. But if you have a phone that it takes it on front facing portrait, that's how I did the second photo. But basically it just blurs out everything in the background so that you come to the forefront. You are just sharp and clear, but everything else is kind of blurred out in the background. The ones at the bottom, and I mentioned the ring light one because honestly, like if you're trying to take pictures at night, we talked about the murky and foggy and dark photos, like that's a way to kind of help brighten that up if you are in an inside dark setting. The last view at the bottom, like including objects and, you know, babies, drinks, food. That's what we talked about in terms of curiosity marketing. Like you see her holding her Energize in one of the pictures, or maybe it's your shake or, you know, post-workout or whatever, like using that stuff. You're not talking about it necessarily, but it's in your photo. So it creates that curiosity. It's a conversation piece. Same thing with, you know, your pets or your kids and things like that. Lifestyle photos, creating that FOMO. So in that picture right there, like they were on some sort of like, I think retreat trip or whatever, like, you know, we keep talking about doing one of those next year for our team, but creating that excitement, like you look at that picture and you're like, damn, that looks like a good time. Like they're popping bottles, they're by the pool, they all got matching hoodies. Like it looks like a good time. You want to be a part of that. So you're sharing those and then play around with your angles a little bit. So you're not always taking that same, you know, boring post-workout bedroom, bathroom selfie that's not interesting or scroll stopping. Okay, last page, I think, yes. Okay, so what do you do now? It's a lot of information. I want you to come back to this and just, you know, really absorb it and go through all of it. But your first goals right now and your next steps. As a brand new coach, your initial goal is Emerald. And all that means is 2 people have joined with you. So maybe that's your spouse, if you're married. And so again, if you're not, we'll get to that in a minute, but speaking on that specifically first, you want them to go on your weak leg. And why you want your spouse to be signed up early is because ultimately that gives you an additional tool to control your business. You have better control over your business, but you also can increase your income over time. So you want to have these little wins and these little victories in the beginning because they're going to set you up later for long-term sustainable passive income, and it's something that you can control. Maybe it's a sibling or a parent, or just some other close family member that you can say, you know, do this with me, let's get healthy together. And I'm going to give you those examples here in a second. But maybe it's, you know, a military friend. We have a military program. So maybe that's a friend or again, a family member, or, you know, maybe you have a friend whose spouse is in the military, or a veteran that you know. Any of that counts, but they get special discounts. So they actually would not have to pay the coach business fee monthly or the coach enrollment fee. They would literally still get to just take advantage of the discount on the products and still be signed up as a coach. So that still helps you regardless of whether they want to work the business or not. And they get those additional fees waived. So just know that both discount coaches and business building coaches still help you build your business and, you know, rank advance, all those things. And again, we'll talk more about that if you're not sure. And I know I'm going through this really, really fast, but I know we started late tonight and I feel like my voice is running out. So I'm not elaborating quite as much as I would like to. But at the end of the day, it's you plus 2 people. You can have 2 plus 1s as your first coaches. But at the end of the day, like honestly, that's something that you should be able to do within like 24 hours. And if you don't have, I give you though, I say 2 weeks because I want to give you time. I don't want you to freak out, but honestly, it's just 2 people and that could be done in 24 hours if you're really dedicated to doing that. But if you don't have friends, or I don't say friends, but specifically a spouse or family members, people like that you just know off the top of your head that you can reach out to, be a little more creative because we know each other in some way, shape, or form. So you met me, whether it be through a related friend, a mutual friend, a friend referral, or social media. So you have friends. You just need to get more creative of how you reach out to them and really thinking about who you know. But some quick examples about how you can reach out to them is like, hey, I just want you to support me in this. This is what I'm building right now. I'm still learning, still figuring it out, but let's get healthy together, or let's build this and figure it out together. And like, that's up to you to figure out, where you guys are on the same page. Like maybe they do, or maybe they are interested in the business side of things, or maybe they just want to get healthy too. So that's where you have to decide how you want to approach it. But also another example is, I'm not really sure what this is going to turn into, but I'm really excited about this opportunity, and I really love to have an accountability partner. I'd love to do this together, and I really need this. Like just getting real with people and sharing, again, not sharing what you think they want to hear or the surfacey stuff, like getting real with people. Okay, so that's your first goal. Again, if you're not sure what Emerald means or how to do it, reach out to me, but the graphic on the side kind of shows you what that is. You need to have on separate legs. If you signed your coaches up, and again, the preferred placement is something that I talk about within the Smart Start training, but you need to have opposite coaches on opposite legs. Okay, one more drink. Last things, finish the Smart Start training, create your bod group for your discount codes. That will go into effect on the 30th, so I want to get you guys in the habit of it now. Again, you can go, there's a training in our coach online office, but this Vimeo link actually takes you to a little bit more lengthy video that walks you through what bod groups are, how to set it up, all that jazz. But you will have to do that in order to get your discount codes to be able to share with new customers to get, I think it's either $10 or $20 off. I think it's $10 off their initial challenge pack, and you get 3 of those. So that's another incentive that you can offer people as a new coach. So if this will be a clickable link whenever I send you guys the PDF, but you can also just go to Vimeo and search bod group trainings. So you need to do that, finish the Smart Start training, or continue on, let me know you're ready for the next steps, set weekly, monthly goals, and know the roadmap for how to get there. Reverse engineering that. So if income is a really big and important piece for you, okay, what are the different rank advancements? How much income can I earn at each stage of the business? And what does that look like? And if I want to earn, this much money every single month, and I know that a basic challenge pack, I earned $50 every challenge pack. Okay, so then how many challenge packs do I need to sell each week or for the month as a whole in order to hit my goal? Same thing for Success Club trips. Okay, I know if I register for this Success Club trip and I want to earn it, I don't want to have to pay anything. Okay, I know I need to hit Success Club 10 every single month, and I know that my basic room that I register for is going to be paid for, and I get a free +1. So just understanding what your goals are, setting those goals, and then knowing how to get there. Like, don't just be blindly going through the motions and doing the activities without really having purpose behind them and knowing exactly where you're going and what to do. And then just put yourself out there, be creative, be brave, and don't, again, shy away from posting or sharing certain parts of your journey. Be willing to be open, be willing to be vulnerable, do the scary things, because ultimately that's what's going to help you grow faster. And that's what's going to help people see into you and who you really are and trust you and see that you're actually a good human being and you're not just trying to sell them something. So I'm going to take it off of sharing and bring you guys back. I know that was a lot of information, and my voice is going to be probably gone tomorrow. I feel like out of nowhere, my throat just got super dry. But any questions from that before we wrap up and let you guys go? No. I know we lost Takara, and I think, Tara's putting little man down. So it's just, so I'm gonna actually go ahead and stop the recording.